The wind howled, a mournful cry that echoed across the barren landscape, carrying with it the whispers of forgotten tales and lost souls. A lone figure traversed the desolate moor, each step heavy with the weight of solitude. The twisted tree in the background stood as a silent witness to his journey, its gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Heather scratched at worn boots, the resilient plants clinging to life in this harsh environment. Each step stirred the scent of earth and decay, a reminder of the cycle of life and death. The air, heavy with mist, clung to him like a shroud, obscuring his vision and dampening his spirit. The fog wrapped around him, a cold embrace that seemed to whisper secrets of the moor. He pulled his threadbare coat tighter, seeking solace from the biting wind that cut through him like a knife. The coat, worn and frayed, offered little protection against the relentless elements. He was alone, or so he thought. The vast expanse of the moor stretched out before him, an endless sea of desolation that seemed to swallow him whole. The vast emptiness pressed down on him, a tangible weight that made each step a struggle. The moor was a place of isolation, where the silence was deafening and the loneliness palpable. A sense of unease crept in, a gnawing feeling that he was not as alone as he appeared. The mist seemed to shift and move, playing tricks on his mind and heightening his anxiety. He pressed on, seeking refuge from the elements and a growing disquiet that gnawed at his resolve. Each step was a battle against the wind and the creeping dread that threatened to overwhelm him. The path ahead seemed to stretch endlessly, a winding trail that disappeared into the fog. It was a journey with no clear destination, a test of endurance and willpower against the unforgiving moor. A faint sound pierced the silence, a persistent jarring ring. He stopped, listening intently. The sound came again, the distinct shrill of a telephone. He looked around, bewildered. There was nothing but the unending moor. He followed the sound drawn by an unseen force. It led him to a dilapidated phone booth, a relic of a bygone era. He hesitated, a shiver running down his spine. The phone continued its insistent ringing. He cautiously entered the booth. The smell of damp and decay filled his nostrils. He picked up the receiver. The ringing stopped abruptly. A voice, barely audible, whispered his name. "Hello?" he croaked, his voice trembling. The voice responded with a chilling message. "Turn back! It's not safe!" He tried to speak, but the line went dead. He stood there, frozen. The silence was deafening. Section 4. The Long Road. He had a choice to make. The crossroads before him symbolized more than just a physical intersection. It was a metaphor for the decisions that lay ahead in his life. Each path held its own mysteries and challenges, and the weight of the decision pressed heavily on his shoulders. Heed the warning or continue his journey. The signpost, weathered and ancient, seemed to whisper tales of those who had come before him. It was a stark reminder of the dangers that lay ahead, yet it also beckoned him with the promise of the unknown. He looked back at the path. Memories of the journey so far flooded his mind, each step a testament to his resilience and determination. The familiar comfort of the past tugged at him, but the allure of what lay ahead was undeniable. The way ahead seemed even more menacing now. Shadows danced in the mist, creating illusions of obstacles and threats. The trees, tall and bare, stood like silent sentinels, guarding the secrets of the road. The wind seemed to whisper his name, urging him forward. It carried with it the voices of the past, the present, and perhaps even the future. Each gust was a nudge, a gentle push towards the unknown. His curiosity, or perhaps a morbid fascination, won out. The pull of the unknown was too strong to resist. With a deep breath, he took a step forward, feeling the weight of his decision lift slightly with each stride. He stepped out of the booth. The wind buffeted him. It was as if the elements themselves were testing his resolve, challenging him to continue despite the odds. He turned towards the road and resumed his journey. Each step was a testament to his determination, a silent promise to himself that he would see this journey through no matter where it led. The phone booth, now out of sight, seemed to vanish into the mist. It was a symbol of the past, a chapter closed, as he moved forward into the unknown, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Section 5. Destination Unknown. In the heart of the forest, where the trees whispered secrets and the shadows danced, a lone traveler ventured forth. The path was barely visible, shrouded in the dim light of dusk. The path led him on, deeper into the unknown. Each step he took seemed to echo louder in the stillness, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The mist thickened, obscuring the way. It swirled around him, cold and damp, making it hard to see more than a few feet ahead. The air grew colder, and the sense of isolation intensified. The silence was broken only by the sound of his own footsteps. Leaves crunched underfoot, a reminder of the life that once thrived here. Now it felt as if the forest was holding its breath, waiting. Each step filled him with a sense of dread. The deeper he went, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that unseen eyes were tracking his every move. He felt an unseen presence following him, watching his every move. He walked until nightfall, the darkness closing in around him. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig made his heart race. The path ended abruptly at the edge of a precipice. He stopped, staring into the void, the ground falling away into darkness. The sheer drop was dizzying, and he felt a chill run down his spine. He looked down into the abyss, the darkness seeming to stretch on forever. It was as if the forest had led him here to this final, terrifying destination. A pair of glowing red eyes stared back at him. They were distant yet piercing, filled with a malevolent intelligence. He felt a surge of fear, his instincts screaming at him to run. The phone's warning echoed in his mind. He had ignored it, thinking it was just a glitch, a mistake. Now he realized too late that it had been a dire warning, but it was too late. The forest had claimed him, leading him to the edge of despair. He stood there, hopeless as the darkness closed in.